Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn Just with Mahesh. So today we'll try to see how we can learn Google Cloud concepts, basically using the two popular AI solutions, Bard, which is from Google, and ChatGPT. So I guess we have already done one video on ChatGPT. So I wanted to add Bard here. So and let's see how things works. Before we get into the actual stuff, so a quick shout out. I'm starting my batch 10 in Professional Cloud Architect. Customized version of Professional Cloud Architect training. If you are interested, drop me an email. So the classes are going to start from 3rd of June. Similarly, I also have a customized professional data engineer training, so which is going to start again on 3rd, but the timings are different. So if you are interested, do let me know. Happy to share more details. So coming back to the stuff, so let's do a small comparison. So and a quick disclaimer. This is basically based on what I have done, and as a small analysis, I may be completely wrong with my observations. Do let me know if you feel something is wrong in this thing, but this is what I felt, and towards the end we'll also see some small kind of a conclusion, again completely based on my understanding. So let's get started. All right, I have opened the ChatGPT page, and I also have Bard. So let's basically try to see some around 6 queries which I had used in the recent past, and I saw some comparisons. Just wanted to share it with you. So the first question which I had sent was, what is the BigQuery IAM role which I have to use to access the information schema? So let me search for this. Similarly, let me go to Bard and put the same query. The query is going to be the same. So let's see how things are going to come, and we'll also judge basically based on what it shows. So the first thing, the response came from, I guess it has come from both the systems. Let's look into it. BigQuery IAM role. So what they mention is you need to have a role called as resource viewer. This is what you see. So BigQuery.resource viewer, this is going to give you the options, is what it is saying. So if you go search for this role, so resource viewer, this is what it is saying. So you have to have resource viewer role to get it. That's what it indicates. Now, if I go to ChatGPT, so here it says you need to have metadata viewer role. So that's what it indicates. So quickly looking at it. So meaning, if I just go here, so metadata viewer is what ChatGPT is mentioning. Resource viewer is what basically Bart is mentioning. So let me just go and do a small activity. I'm going to use simple GCP user, a normal user which I use in most of the demos. So that user is what I have given. So let me go first with ChatGPT, so which it mentioned as metadata viewer role. So based on my understanding, it's not a complete answer which the system or which the AI based systems has given it. So that is just to give you an idea that they are still improving. They need to still improve. That's what I would say. So with just that role, it's not sufficient. So let me swap my screen to simple GCP user, so you can see this. So let me just go ahead and run this. So when I try to run it, it shows me an error. The reason is very simple. You need to have BigQuery job user role. We have also talked about this in a couple of videos in our channel itself. So without that role, you cannot query it. That's what it indicates. So this is partial answer is what it indicates. So let me swap and add that role. So this is where your experience in Google Cloud comes. So just relying on these BI tools, AI tools will not help you. So if I just go to BigQuery job user role, I need to have it. So without this, it's not going to work. So now I have given this. So let me swap my screen. Usually it's going to take a few seconds or minutes to propagate the change, but let me give a try by running it without pausing the video and see whether we can get the results. Awesome. We have got the results. So we are able to query the information schema, which is good. So meaning chat gpt looks like correct. That's what I would say. But here just giving resource viewer role may not work, so we can verify it. That's no problem, right? So let's go ahead and verify it. Let's just give resource viewer role. So if we go to BigQuery, resource viewer role, so this is what it mentioned, so we are giving it. So let's just wait for it to show up the stuff. So because usually it takes little time to propagate. So by the time it comes up, so I would like to go to the next question, which I asked in the stuff. So by that time we can see the propagation has changed, has taken place or not. So the next question which I queried was how to make a BigQuery column case insensitive. So that is what I did. So let's search it. Similarly, let's go to Bard. So the first answer, I would say it was ChatGPT gave partial answer 50% because without BigQuery job user role I cannot do it. So but we'll see whether it is going to work or not. So I doubt, but let's see it. With the second question, how to make BigQuery column case insensitive. So let's go to the ChatGPT. What it has given as the response. It is trying to say use lower. Makes simple sense, right? So the only thing is that there's going to be a little computational cost. So this could have been designed when you're designing the table, this thing, how the data comes with the transformation, all those things. If you're not done it, you have to do this lower. So this is going to take a little computational effort there, but should work is what I would say. Or you can use the this option. So I have never tried this. I like, so this is another option which you can try. So coming to Bard is where I saw some interesting option. So here um, I guess the response keeps changing if I'm not wrong. That's my understanding. So here they are using collate. So that is one option which they are trying to see it. I can try to see if I can get a previous this thing. So lower is what they are mentioning. That should be good enough. So it can get it. So if I go to my activity board, so because I had seen a slightly a different option when I was looking into it. Let me just see whether it can show me the stuffs. Okay, it does not show. Okay, it's not showing. But what I had seen is I had seen it a different response. So looks like a good amount of learning is happening behind the scene with Bart is what I feel. So but the stuff which it was giving was to use something called as ignore case. People who have used BigQuery extensively knows there is an option called as ignore case. You can do it. So for example, I have an employee table which is like all the employee name starts with user. It's all in lowercase. But if I use something like this, so just this piece, I will not get any result. But if I use the entire stuff with ignore case, I will be able to get the result. So this is a legacy query. So I cannot use the same thing on a standard dialect, the standard SQL option. So if I try to do it, it's going to show me 0 results. That's what it's going to show, right? So, but ChatGPT gave a good option. But this is what I had observed in BAT a few minutes back before preparing this video. But looks like it is doing some kind of a self-learning. I'm not sure. That's what I see it. So that's where I had kept this option ready. So now let's go back to the first question which we had asked. So let me swap, or this is the role which we had given. So let's swap to the screen to simple GCP user and see whether no. So resource viewer will not help us. So chat GPT had an upper hand, so it was almost 50% correct. Bard was not at all correct. So giving a resource viewer role is not going to help you out. So second question which we asked, almost both of them gave a good option is what I would say. So that's a good choice. So still I see ChatGPT, if I just were to compare this like points wise, is still having an upper hand because it gave a good or almost like 50% right for the first question. So let's move on to the next third question, so which is an interesting one. Let's see how, because I saw some response before doing the video. Let's see whether the response is going to be same or it's going to be different. So let me use this question. How to enable partitioning on a existing, not this one, yeah, on an existing table. Yeah, we should be able to use this on an existing table. How do we do it? Now, for people who have used BigQuery to a great extent knows, on an existing table you cannot do it. This has to be done using the creation time itself. If you have not done, you have to recreate it. There's no alter statement, nothing. Only is you have to create a new table with the right partition field and reload the data. So let's see what ChatGPT gives. Similarly, what Bard gives. So let's see the response. So ChatGPT says alter. Using alter table, I don't think so this is going to something work. You can give a try if you want. As per Google's documentation, you'll not be able to do this. So if you really want to do this, give a try, but it's not going to work. The only reason is this field will not work. So we can give a try. So let me just try to put it and show you that this is not going to work. Before that, let's look into what Bart has given. So okay, so let me try to regenerate it. It did not give any response, so I guess these are all still evolving systems. So okay, so go to BigQuery console. In the navigation panel, select the dataset, blah blah blah. Settings tab, click partition and select partition by field. No, this is again not going to work. There, it did not really understood the question, so it is not on the existing table. So if you want to create a new one, yes, this is going to be a good choice, but that word existing is not recognized properly here, is what I would say. So now let me just show you this one, the ChatGPT stuff, the alter, which will not work. Let me just show you that. All right, so I have another table called as avro, so where there's a data type called as integer. So we know partitioning is going to be supporting that, so that's what it indicates. You can use partitioning on date, timestamp and integer. So I'm just have copied this and I have made this, and you get a syntactical error. So meaning I would say ChatGPT did not really do well there. But also I would say it did not do really well because it did not even understood the context there. So I wanted on an existing table, but it is saying something on a new table. So meaning this is what it is saying. So click the table you want to partition. So yeah, it has taken it, but on an existing table you cannot do it. So if I click on this table, I don't see any settings option. So settings tab, so I don't know where it is making up the stories there. So Bart is also not that great in this case, is what I would say. So far still we see ChatGPT is really making some good sense. Moving on to the fourth question, which was really like buzzing me for a long time. So when we click on SSH, the in-browser SSH in the virtual machine, so when we create a virtual machine in Google Cloud, so where is the private SSH key kept? So public, we know it is going to be in the VM itself, but where is the public, the private SSH key? So when I search for this, it's going to give me some results. By the same time, let's go and see it, what Bart is going to give it. So let's look into this. So when you click on SSH, okay, yeah, so you click on SSH, it is securely stored in the VM itself. Okay, it is important to know that it's not viewable through console. Okay, This again, I feel the response was totally different. So let me try to regenerate it, but this does not make any sense. If we go to this one, so here in browser SSH, this means the key is not stored in a local, yes, rather than on the Google server. There's a way to securely access it. No, it is not going to be stored in a, the private SSH key should be usually local, right? That's my understanding. So it says when you click on this thing, is stored in Google Cloud Platform's metadata. This means the key is not stored on your local machine. No, so um, this is not something which you see it as an option. So let me try to regenerate it. Let's give one more chance and see whether it can do something different, because I have seen the responses keeps changing depending on the same query you type it. Again, it gives you a different response. So this is a learning which I have seen. So when you don't get the right answer, try regenerating it. It can give you sometimes a better option. So if it does not, nothing can be done. But I have seen uh, no, instead of temporary, I don't think so. It shows anything. It's not locally with or within. Instead, is stored on the fly for a specific session. The actual answer is it is going to be stored in the browser's in memory. That's the actual answer. So because you're only using browser, nothing else, so it has to be the browser in memory. So but the options which both the systems are giving is little wrong, is what I would say. But I had seen this response very much similar, saying that it comes from the browser when I was doing Google search. So let me just use, I have a small add-on. So when I do this, so I have this one. Let's see what is the response it is going to give here. So um, no, so this is the same thing which is giving. This is okay. When you this thing, your private is not stored in the server or within the browser. Instead, uses a feature called as yes for a specific. This is somewhat better. And if you see it here, the response gave here was different. So I'm not sure whether the add-on is making something better here. I'm not sure, but it's not in the server. Definitely it's not going to be it's going to be primarily in the browser's memory. The session, till that session we keep it, it's going to be there. That's the right answer, I would say. So so far you see both the systems are not really giving you the accurate stuffs. uh, let's look into the last two questions which I have, little interesting questions. So how to enable partitioning on 10 fields in BigQuery table. So again, people who have worked on it knows you can only enable it on one particular field, but here 10 fields. So let's see what is the response uh, this thing is going to give us. So let me go to the Bard. So let's wait for the response. You can enable partition multiple by the concept of partitioning. No, this is not the right answer. So again, I see the responses are changed because partitioning is done only on a single field. So let me regenerate it, folks. I'm not sure the queries are, it's consistent. Or sorry, the response are becoming consistent. So uh, yeah. So yeah, this is a response. So you can see the same query which I ran twice, did not change anything, just regenerate, gave me something better. Here it is saying that as if like you can do it. So what's the first option which I had? Oh, sorry, was it? Okay, that's okay. So this is a thing. So you can enable partitioning by composite is based on a single. So that is a good choice. You can do concat and do is what it indicates, but it's primarily on one field. So concatenation is the choice is what it is saying. So let's see what Google or the Bard is giving us. Go to this thing, enter the 10 fields. Absolutely wrong. is right. So definitely this is not something a good choice. And also it is you can only partition a field that has a following date. This is also completely wrong. The reason is string is not acceptable as for partitioning. So but has totally failed here is what I would say. And the last option which I would say is same thing but clustering on 10 fields. So again we know clustering can be enabled only on 4 fields. So what does ChatGPT gives us the response? Let's see it. Similarly Bard, let's see what is the response it gives us. So let's just wait for it. The only trick which I have seen is if you feel the answer is not correct, use that regenerate option. There's a chance that these systems can give you a better solution, but don't completely rely on it, is what you may would have seen over this 20 minutes of small scenarios which I showed. So let's see the stuff. So clustering, it is doing the same thing, absolutely wrong. How can you have it on all? This command is not going to work. So yes, you can do on an existing table using BQ update, works, but it is only 4 fields, not 10 fields. So here I guess it is generating it. So let's wait. So where you can, it is saying supports clustering on a single set. No, this is not on a single set. Let's try stop generating and regenerate the response. Let's see if it's going to give some better option. So we can try even in Bard if it gives a better response. So regenerate, let's see. There could be an option. So this is what I have exploded. No, this is not going to fly. So this is not going to fly. We have few options. 10 fields. No. ChatGPT. No. ChatGPT is giving here on this thing. So combine the stuff. And alter will not work. This will not work. You cannot use alter statement. You can look into the documentation. Only BQ update is what you can do it. So again, here it's not both of them giving a great response. So you saw almost like 6 questions which I had in my mind, and I tried to use it. So I would say to some extent ChatGPT was doing better than Bard, at least in the 3 or the 6 questions which I tried. So and to be very frank, I tried to see, because I had a small soft corner towards Bard because it's from Google, trying to see where it can beat ChatGPT, but unfortunately I was not able to get anything which I can say that it was really doing good. And this is completely based on my own analysis. I could be completely wrong, or the entire video can look like a scrap video, but this is what I understood. So a small conclusion which I can give based on my understanding is use these AI tools definitely with a pinch of salt. I can share one real experience here where I was trying to do something and I felt the ChatGPT response was really genuine. Spent almost 2 hours, and I really later realized that it was such an option does not even exist. It was making up stories is what I felt sometimes. And there are some times where I have seen it gives a very good stuff. So where I have seen it does really good is the snippets, the code snippets, something in Python, all those kind of stuff. It gives you really a good option. So that's a little longer video, roughly around 24 minutes. So do let me know your comments and feedback in the comment section. Happy to know those inputs and where things are going to go. Thank you for watching.